2185. I want 1500 for the whole Minmus thing, about another 1000. Yeah, I'd like it to be a little more. If I snuck in a little small one like that. That looks good. 2513. Thrust to weight is 0.17. That is 1.17. That is great. I don't like that texture. I like it better when it's like that. Okay. And I should, yes, I should put, what I'm going to do, yeah, take that off. Let's get just some probe bodies under here. Because I want, I don't think it's going to need reaction wheels. I think it just needs a probe. I want to be able to deorbit this thing. Well, then it will need reaction wheels. Okay, probe body. That's really small, but I don't care. Control. Reaction wheels. A token amount of batteries. And let's put the fairing back. Delete that fairing for now. 2576. I think that should be close enough. Let's put some solar panels on this thing. I'm just gonna put like that. And then that way this thing can destroy itself, like crash into Minmus when it's all done. And an antenna right there for communications. I'm thinking I'm thinking this is going to be okay. So building the fairing. Let's get a booster under this. I would love to get this to Minmus and dock to that station before this is all done. That would be great. Okay. Let's put this up to 6 sides. A little bit up on the force. Clamshell deploy. Okay, how much mass are we talking here? We're talking 11.5 tons. Let's go take a look at our boosters. I do have that massive booster from last time. Well, massive by my with the mainsail. I don't need anything like that. Can this guy do it? All told, oh my gosh, let me look at this. By this point here, I want 36 plus 15 is 50. This has got it. This has got it easy here. I think so, unless I'm missing my 3,600 meters per second to get into orbit, plus another 15 for getting to Minmus. 36 and 15 is 51, right? And it's at 55, so this should be tons. This should be tons right here. I'll clean this up a little bit, but I'm thinking this should work. Oh, let's take the Kerbals out. Oh my golly. This is not flying with Kerbals in it. That'll give me a little extra delta V there too. It has 3223 by the time this stage is done. I think I can even take off a couple of these boosters. Which way are these hoses going? They're going this way, so these are the ones that get deployed first. Can I take off 2 of these? Yeah. I'm thinking that should do it. Okay, obviously this needs to be majorly cleaned up. Another fairing in there. Nope, I need a 2.5 meter one now. There it is. And no, it should be one. Oh, with the one underneath it. That's right. So, okay, yeah, build the fairing. Why am I getting... Why is it being all yellowy? Don't be all yellowy. Be bluey. What doesn't it like? Okay, fine. Here, let's go up to about here, and then we'll close this off. There we go. That's the kind of thing I was looking for. And we'll disable that staging so that that is really just a cowling. We'll take the expansion off because that's just going to let go like that. Okay, and this can go back under, go up. 5196. I'm just counting. I'm not counting the lander part. I think that should be good. Oh, PX Delta asked about, did I find out why crashing rockets was making me money? Yes, I did. I was meaning to bring that up. Let me finish this off, and then I will show that to everybody. But I'm thinking this is coming really close to a finished product. Let's see here. What are the... Gotta fix up this staging here a little bit. So it's going to do the main engine plus those two. First of all, yeah, let's take a look. And then when those come off, these guys kick on. That makes perfect sense. That's a lot of thrust at the top end. That is a crap ton of thrust at the top end. So we can reduce the thrust. You know, I think I need the thrust on the bottom end, though. Let's see. What are... No, these guys are way low. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do that. These can come way down. Okay, way... Let's actually come back to here. Let's increase these thrusts, and we're going to lower the thrust on that mainsail. I want the launch. Yeah, why is that not affecting? Oh, I'm doing the gimbal. Okay, so 1.33 launch. Then it goes to about 1.8. So I would love this to be about 1.8. So that the transition from these boosters to those boosters work fine. Are there smart parts on here? Looks like there's a smart part there. There's a smart part there. So I think I'm good for smart parts. Okay, let's save it. Yeah, no test. There's no Kerbals in here. I'm just going to check that one last time. Yeah. And besides, every time I crash, I make money. And if everything is right, I honestly will be very surprised. So let's run launch. Oh, we're going to Minmus. Shoot. I'm going to pay attention this time. Going to Minmus, so we want to launch. We want to set Minmus as a target. And we want to launch at the relative ascending node. That's in 2.5 hours. So we'll just time warp to that. And this time I'm going to make sure I'm going to go the right way. I don't want to make the same mistake I made. Okay, 3. So this is the ascending node. So in theory, I should be going towards the north. And if we take a quickie look, where is us? There's us there. Yeah, definitely we're going to the north. That's right. So I must have just did it wrong last time. So run, launch. that's going to be a positive 6 degrees, 80-kilometer orbit. Let's do it. Boom. And it is a sunset launch. We'll look at it from here. And we're off. So far, so good. The Soviet approach. Just fire it off and see what happens. All right, and we're gonna lose these radial boosters pretty quickly. Oh, I forgot about this rocket. Yeah, it's one for dropping debris. I think they'll land out here somewhere. I forgot they did that. This is not the best designed booster in the world. I could certainly make something bigger, better. Yep. So these are, what are these? These are like skippers on the bottom, or Reliance? Reliance there. And then that's a skipper engine. Boom, I can hear booms down there. It's landing. Okay, that's your don't stand. Spectators are not allowed to be in this area right here. All right, kind of a dumpy kind of rocket. I like it. All right, so at some point it nerfs the thrust. I think 20 kilometers. Yep. Cuts down the thrust. That's to keep the time to apoapsis fairly close by. Makes for a more efficient launch. And hopefully, actually the worst thing in the world is that I did my math wrong and get out there and find out, oh, you did that a little too quick. So these radial ones here, these tanks here are actually perma-attached on that. So this whole thing is a single stage that will stage together. Nathan's asking, what mod is that? Is that have to do with the Media Circus? If it is, then that's the Strategia mod. I have a handful of mods installed. Though the mods, I do have mods that change the gameplay. I don't have a lot of mods that add new parts, and I did that deliberately because I want somebody who is just playing the stock game. You could pretty much build this. I mean, yes, there's some KOS involved, but most of what you see, pretty much what you see here is stock. Oh, that was nice. Didn't break anything, right? That antenna's still on there. Please. Yeah, right there. Okay, how are we doing here? We are at 70. Oh, we just lost that stage. Perfect. Nice. 70 kilometers on the apoapsis. Again, that was all by design. I think that's a good way to do it. And then this will take the whole rest of the journey. And then you don't have debris and all of that nonsense. And almost at 80 kilometers. There we go. Out of the atmosphere here. Okay. And we're just over a minute away. I'm looking at, I should have do I have a relative inclination somewhere? I put it on here. No, it doesn't give you a relative inclination. Make sure, I'm paranoid about that I went the wrong way again. Okay. 20 seconds from the final insertion here. Got my blinky lights on the top. Blinky lights by the docking port. Those are the only blinky lights. The rest of the lights are just on lights. There we are. And this is going to have still a crap ton of fuel left. I'm over budgeting again, but you know what? That's going to be great because the plan for this lander is to repeatedly go up and down to Minmus's surface. So any fuel that I have left over is there for that job, right? Of going up and down to Minmus. So hopefully this thing will be able to go up and down a few times without having to bring any more fuel up. Well, we're going to be doing hopefully some docking very soon there, Nathan. Nathan's saying he has trouble with the docking, but that should, this is what, here, I'm going to put this way. This should be, we're going to dock this thing with the station, hopefully. Unless something goes really wrong. Am I the right way this time? I am. See, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, where's Minmus? There we are. Again, I should always just type in 920 because that's pretty much always what it is. There. And then newer. There we go. Let's focus this view on Minmus. Now there is an extra bit of fun here in that. Let's show the station. Stations. There we go. We want to actually rendezvous with this station here. Let's get the Duber over there. So I think I'm gonna need. Oh, I'm gonna need a little bit more. Yep, here we go. Okay, that's just whacking into the station. So turn this down. So you can see we're coming in here. But we're coming in out of the plane. We want to actually, we have to eventually be in the plane of the orbit of the station. Now, one thing you can do is you can just simply wait. Like if you go ahead orbits, I'll just show you what I mean. If you go ahead orbits, let's go a bunch of orbits, and then retweet this back in. That angle might not look like it. That angle has now changed, our incoming angle here and here. So if you keep going ahead orbits, because Minmus is going around Kerbin, of course, eventually this, you want this to line up with our incoming trajectory. But Minmus takes, what, like 26 days to do an orbit? So that's fine for the moon, but I think it's going to take too long, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do a plane change. Minmus isn't that expensive, so we should do... We're going to do a plane change when we get there. I think that looks pretty good right now. Oh, and the burn's coming up in just under 2 minutes. So we're ready. Let's go. Let's go. Run our script. So we're going to do some plane changing when we get there. And I want to do it. I want to get there. Something I just realized with the docking, it's time warp to the burn closer, is I was very, very careful with balancing the RCS using the RCS Build Aid so that for the lander, the RCS is all nicely balanced, but the RCS isn't designed with this big, stupid thing on the bottom of it, and our first docking is going to have this thing on it. That's going to be interesting. We'll figure that all out later. All right, what do we got? 10 seconds. Come on, burn. How many ignitions are on this engine? 11, so you have to be a little careful. You know what? Land all at once. Rob Woods was... I was just thinking that, Rob. On the first landing, I think to take this with us for the first landing and hopefully use up all its fuel during the descent so that you can just discard it. And... sorry, I'm just watching this too. And it will crash into Minmus's surface. That would be an ideal use of this. And then this will have a ton of fuel still left in it. And then that way you're not wasting anything. I think that would be great. We'll see how that works out. Okay, how are we For our, we overcooked it. Okay, so we're going to hit... You know what? No, I'm going to live with it. I'm going to live with it because I am... Oh, wait, I do have... No, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop. I was about to use RCS, but you know what? I'm just going to live with it. Just going to live with it. Now, let's put in our correction here. Now, one thing to be cognizant about is I want to minimize this plane change I'm going to have to make. And the station is going around in this way. And so I'm going to want to meet this orbit to the north of Minmus up here. So that we're more or less kind of going... This is our trajectory coming in here. So we're going to take this and we're going to move upwards. Get a little bit more oomph. And a little bit this way. You know what? I think retrograde has more of an effect. I should just do that. That's the idea. That's the idea right there. And a little bit downwards. You want your trajectory just touching that orbit. That's pretty darn close.